Hey everyone, welcome back to Williamson Ridge Outdoors. Today we are back out here at the wood yard. I'm going to split up some more of this oak. I've got quite a bit of this pin oak still back here from some trees and stuff that was around the yard. But this stuff is not fun to split. This pin oak has so many tree branches and stuff in it that it's got so many knots. I really have to use the single wedge more than anything on this. I don't get to use the 4-way or the 6-way very much at all, because it is so knotty and I have to kind of, work around those knots and stuff, which also is actually a good benefit of being able to have that 4-way and then be able to lower it all the way down and use the single knife on it, because that allows you to be able to do that and work around that stuff. So this stuff takes a little bit of extra time to split, but it's nice oak firewood once you do get it split. So it is definitely worth taking the time to go through and split this. The only problem is this stuff takes forever to dry. And so this year, I'm not going to be able to use this firewood for this season. So it's not ideal, but it's actually the only wood that I've got right now to be ready to split. It seems like I can't hardly ever get ahead, but who knows? Maybe this will be the year that we'll be able to do that. So stay tuned. We're going to put this Eastonmade 916 to work. We're going to run a bunch of this Knotty Wood through there and see how it does. And if you notice, I did get me a burn barrel. I may have mentioned that before in a video, but I finally was able to stop by and get some of these. And the whole purpose of this is so that all this scrap junk that comes off here at the splitter, I can burn that while I'm actually standing here splitting firewood. And I don't have to worry about, the fire spreading anywhere. Plus, it'll be great on days that it's, pretty cold outside. say, that pin oak is some knotty stuff, and it's really stringy too. It's not like red oak or something where, you know, if you get a good piece that doesn't have a lot of limbs, like it just splits and it'll just kind of pop apart before you even get all the way to the end of the cycle. And this pin oak is more like, I want to kind of compare it to elm. It's really stringy. It is just really a pain to split that. So as you've seen, I've done a lot of that with the single wedge, and then I split a couple of them actually to show you what happens whenever you run the 4-way. It'll still push through it, and it'll split it, but it just makes a mess out of it, and the firewood just comes out in pieces and strings. And whereas if you just use that single wedge and be a little bit patient with it, then you can kind of make some pretty decent looking firewood out of it still. It just takes a lot of time. Out of all that time, I don't have nearly as much firewood as what I would have if all the pieces would have been just, you know, pretty decent straight grain type stuff. So while that stuff is knotty and time consuming, it is still really worth it because that's a nice oak tree and there's a lot of good usable wood in there. So thanks for checking out the video today. I hope you enjoyed watching this Eastonmade 916 in action. There's not been much that this thing has not been able to split. So sometimes it's just better to slow down, drop the wedge down, go to that single way, split it out, kind of miss some of the knots and kind of work your way around that stuff, and you can make some trashy wood into some really nice firewood. So the sun is setting, it's starting to cool off. I got my fire going over here, so I'm gonna go over here and kind of enjoy that little bit of warm fire, and we'll see you on the next one.